I just caught wind that Shaquille O'Neal has come out publicly as a flat earther, and I wanted to address some of the suspicions and doubts that people have. Shaquille O'Neal is a Freemason, so obviously here's what's going on. Well, let's talk about a larger pattern that's been emerging. We had Bob, we had Kyrie Irving, we had a couple other NBA players toying with the idea, and now Shaquille O'Neal, right? So what is it with African American rappers or musicians and athletes that this is the where the flat Earth is being discussed and pushed? Well, obviously the hype factor, the celebrity, idolatry factor is their focal points that people look to as role models. That's why Neil deGrasse Tyson freaked out about Bob and Kyrie Irving. Is it's one thing if I'm just talking about this on my Lone Gunman YouTube channel, but Bob making it mainstream, oh no, science can't have that. Well, African Americans have long had a culture of distrusting the government. Now, that's not to say that Bob and Shaq don't trust the government. Fear of isolation, I think, is the biggest factor here. Number one, fear of isolation. Number two, not wanting to be perceived as one of them, like the Illuminati or whatever. And then number three, 15 minutes of fame. Especially if Bob got his 15 minutes of publicity, Kyrie Irving got his 15 minutes of publicity, and now Shaq on a podcast can safely say, of course the earth is flat, and he know there'll be a little reaction from the media. It'll all blow over, and then it'll be some other guy's turn, right? So those are the major factors. Is African Americans don't have as big of a risk as other ethnicities to fear isolation from their peers. That's not to say the people who Shaquille O'Neal has met through his professional career in basketball or broadcasting, but the people back home who are still judging him about whether or not he sold out or whether or not he's one of them, the Illuminati and whatnot. Kyrie Irving, Shaquille O'Neal, and I think Bob all have this trait in common. If you doubt this trend, think about a couple years ago when people really started to explore the Hollywood Illuminati scene because Dave Chappelle came forward, because Cat Williams came forward, because Martin Lawrence waved a gun in Hollywood streets yelling, "They're trying to kill me." There is a trend in the African American subculture to distrust the white perceived government. But of course, the white perceived government also has a lot of roots in the Kabbalah religion. And a lot of our favorite actors who we think of as white don't then personally identify as white. You know, if you go looking at pictures of Brad Pitt's brother or Tom Cruise's brother, you'll quickly realize, oh, most of the people I think of who self-identify as white actually self-identify as Talmudic Jew. So the fear of isolation among most white entertainers isn't the same as an African American who could get 15 minutes of fame this weekend for saying, yeah, the earth is flat, come on. Because Shaquille O'Neal, B.O.B., and Kyrie Irving more resemble a hired mercenary performing a specific function in Hollywood compared to these hierarchical families which don't have a group of people judging them saying, you better say the earth is flat or you're one of them. Instead, it's the opposite, where we know they now have a very complicated system of don't snitch. There's a whole religious law that the rabbis have to personally chime in on about when Jews can snitch on other Jews called the Masirah principle or something like that. And I'll talk about that to educate people pretty soon because it's becoming rapidly important as far as how Jews perceive themselves in the Western legal system, essentially why they feel that they're above the law. It's because they see the Gentiles' legal system as unjust to the Jew. So all of those types of factors are there for any entertainer, even Roseanne Barr. If she wants to say the Earth is flat, she's going to be judged on an entirely different system than most African Americans or other ethnicities. Tila Tequila, I think her family is tied in with the hierarchy, so it was kind of unique for her to come forward. But again, another minority kind of hired gun mercenary within the Illuminati hierarchy. That's what I think is the bigger pattern. Shaquille O'Neal, Kyrie Irving, B.O.B. I know I'm forgetting something else major. But this was just a thought off the top of my head. And usually those videos, shoot it, upload it. Why not? Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq goes flat.